Well, hey, friends, welcome back to the podcast. This is Rhonda. We're going to talk today about how to kind of create an ideal work week that allows you to have time for yourself, for self care, and also allows you time to do what you love in your business and work on your business. Now, if you're like me or like most of us practitioners, we love, love, love what we do, right? We could do it all day long. We could talk about it. We get excited about it. We love it. We like to nerd out on all the geeky things about health and wellness and maybe new supplements or webinars, seminars, that kind of thing. We love all that. And that's what makes you good at what you do. But what happens is we spend all this time pouring, pouring, pouring into the patients, and then the business kind of like, oh, I got to fire. I got to put it out. Okay, 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 okay. I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that. And then the taxes are due or payroll is due and you're late on that or whatever's happening. And then before you know it, you're just a fire putter outerer rather than being proactive and being able to be in your business and having the business work smoothly, run smoothly. And then you have ease and flow when you're working with patients because the business isn't on fire all the time. I have a friend, she always says, for many years when I very first started my practice, she actually bought a practice, but she said, I always felt like my hair was on fire every day, all day. And I get that. It feels like that sometimes. You just literally feel like your hair's on fire and all you're trying to do is slap the fire out and get rid of the fire. But that's no way. That's not how to create a really nice, balanced life by living like your hair's on fire all the time. So that's what we're going to talk about today. How do we take these three important things? There's kind of three components. One is your self care personal life, one is the clinical part of your work that you do as a profession. And then the other one is working on the business and making sure that your business is running smoothly. So we have to make sure we allow the right amount of time for all three of those things. Because if we don't, we're going to lean into the thing that's got our hair on fire and the thing that pays the bills, which is the patient care. And then what is it that goes out the window? It's the family, the personal care, self care, all that kind of stuff. Now, you might be one of those people you're like, oh, I never miss a day of exercise. I always eat right. I prep all day on Sunday. I spend 8 hours food prepping for the week. You might be one of those people. And if you are, I love you. I wish I had more of you because I don't have that. The thought of having to meal prep on a Sunday makes me want to have vomit in my mouth. Now, I'll do it, but I'm not going to do it as good as I could because I just don't like it. I would like to pay somebody to do it. If I could find somebody that would do it for me, I would gladly pay them to do it because I don't like it that much. So that part of my self-care often drops off because I don't love it. And you probably have the things too. For most practitioners, the business part is what's like, I'm just going to close my eyes. I'm not even going to look at that right now. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I'm kind of out. Sometimes it's the business stuff that gets left behind. These are like the three legs of the stool, and we have to care for each one. So, first thing is we just end up overworking because the clinical part pays the bills. So, we end up overworking. We either see more people than we need to, we don't establish good boundaries. So, then we're on call 24/7 for some, which I'm never a fan of. Or we just are like pouring over the books and reading and learning and learning and learning. I had a practitioner tell me, it's probably been 2 or 3 months ago, that in the last month, he'd spent about 60 hours. That's like a week and a half out of a month reading clinical studies around one particular subject, equivalent of like a week and a half of work. And he was doing it nights and early mornings and on the weekends. And I love the learning, love it, but it was a little out of balance, I think, because he loved it so much. And it's okay. But if there's something else that's being left to the sidelines, in other words, you're not tending to the other things, then that's an out of balance thing. So what I want to do is I want to think about how do we make the three legs of the stool, the personal, the clinical, and the business, how do we shore them up so that our stool isn't wobbly? How do we do that? So first, I want you to think about designing your ideal work week. Okay, that's the first thing that we want to do. If you could just create it the way that you want to, okay, think about it like that. Let's pretend all the bills are paid, everything's good. If you could say a perfect day for you, what would that look like? Just a perfect day. So I'll say for me, right now in the Seattle business, my hair's on fire a lot, but I'm just in that phase of the business where it's just turbulent and bumpy and there's all kinds of things that are on fire. And it's okay. It's okay. It's fine for now because I'm getting it. It's less on fire than it was a couple of months ago. So I'm getting it. Put the fire out. But let's just say that I didn't have that going on. Everything was running smoothly. My perfect day would start. I would want to get up at about probably 5:30 or 6, maybe 5, but I like being up in the mornings because it's quiet. If I could design it, I would get up and I would have just some quiet time to myself. I would read. I might read my Bible. I might read a book. I might just listen to music. I would just want that quiet time for maybe, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes probably. And then I would go take a shower and get ready to go. And then I would wanna make a good healthy breakfast, like a nice, eggs with some arugula and some blueberries and cottage cheese or something like that, like a nice breakfast. And then I would probably wanna spend some time with my husband, and if we're in the same town, because 'cause we're in different towns often. If he is with me, I'd probably wanna just chat with him for a little bit, and then I think I would be good to go. I would say, "Okay, let's go to work." So I would say from, let's say 5:30 to 9. Let's just call it that. That would be my ideal morning. That would be my self-care time in the morning. And then when I get to work at 9, I would want the first patient to be at about 9:30 or 9:45. Now, again, this is just my perfect. I want you to think about you through the lens of what I'm telling you. Like, what would your morning routine look like and how much time would that take? So for me, if I got to work at 9, then I would want the first patient to be 9:30 or 9:45 because I need time to settle in, get organized, and get ready for the day, open up the office, all the things. I don't want to get to the work and have my hair on fire. So I would do that. Then I would schedule in at least an hour to an hour and a half. This is my perfect ideal. It's not what happens. I'm telling you right now, this does not happen. I would add an hour and a half for lunch. And then I would wanna see patients again in the afternoon, and then I would want another 30 to 45 minutes at the end of the day to kinda wrap up the day, do the end of the day checklist, make sure that all the chart notes are done, like I've tied a bow on this day and done, and when I walk out, I lock the door, it stays. And then when I go home, I would want to be able to cook dinner and relax and maybe do a little reading, like a clinical book or something like that in the evening or a social event. That would be how I would do my day. Now, all of that is all in dreamy land for me. None of that is reality, except the really work hard part during the middle of the day. So my stool is very imbalanced. I've got one leg, the clinical leg, the doing the work that's really out of balance. I've got a long leg there. I have a really short leg of time working on the business. Like there's not very much time that I have. That's way not in balance. And then my morning is pretty much non-existent because I get up, I hit the ground running, I start working right away, I take a shower, and I'm out the door. And I sometimes will just, like, have some overnight oats and blueberries, and off I go. I've got a lot of imbalance in my brick and mortar right now. So for you, what does yours look like? Where is your self-care in relation to your clinical care, in relation to your working on the business? Did you hear in my example? I didn't really even include any business work in there. So that's what we're going to talk about to kind of wrap up for today. I've kind of given you like the framework or the perspective. Now I want you to think about, what does that morning routine look like? I want you to think about bookending your day with your self-care. Okay, that's all. We're going to start there. We're going to bookend the day. In the morning, there's got to be some self care, and at night, there has to be some self care. Maybe you have, a PMF mat and you want to lay on that mat, or maybe you have an infrared sauna that you want to do, or maybe you really like stretching, or maybe your workout time. Like, did you notice in my example, I didn't even have any exercise in there? Yeah, I would need another hour for that. So sometimes taking care of yourself is a full time job. It could be. So I want you to think about it this way. Bookend your day with some self-care. Time for you to nurture your body, your soul, your spirit, your mind, your environment, your relationships. That's your beginning and end of the day. Now, in the middle of the day, that's the practitioner piece where we're generating revenue, and it's also the business working piece. That's the piece I said in the beginning That's the part that most practitioners will push to the side, where your hair is just on fire all the time because you're just putting out fires in your business. What I want you to do is I want you to be very strategic about adding in and scheduling that time during your ideal work week. I want you to schedule in that time that is just your business development time. And it might just be like an hour on Wednesday and Friday. That's okay. It's never going to be even time wise with your clinical hours, but I want you to schedule in that time, an hour. Maybe it's 30 minutes early for 4 or 5 days a week. And you just set the timer on your phone, 30 minutes, go. And then you are focused. You're creating patient resources. You're making a checklist. You're reviewing your new patient forms. You're looking through your website. You're creating social media posts. Those are all the things that you have to do as a business owner in order to have that smooth running, effective, and profitable. Like, you've set the foundation so that the business can be profitable. But if you're spending all the time working, doing all of the income generating things, and you're not spending time working on growing, systematizing, organizing, creating those structures inside the business so that it can grow and be profitable without you. In other words, the systems are in place, so the systems start to run themselves, then you're going to still always have your hair on fire. And you're going to always be in the lane where you're creating clinical results all the time, but you're not working on the business. And then your personal life's going to suffer. And again, you might be one of those people that's like, has all your stuff all together all the time. Friend, if that's you, could you just send a little bit of that my way? Because this is not my strength. Definitely not my jam. I love working. And my number one strength, you've probably heard me say this before, is I'm an achiever. I am not happy unless I'm achieving something. And so people ask me all the time, how do you get all the stuff done that you get done? I don't know. I'm just an achiever. If I don't have something to achieve, I'm not happy. It would be like a cow dog, the round them up kind of dogs that go out and they get the sheep or the cows and they bring them all in. That's me. If you didn't put me in an environment where I could achieve something, I'm like a working dog. It just makes me happy. That dog run out that field, chasing all those people. That's what the dog loves to do. So for me in business, that's where I can get imbalanced really quickly because my strength is I want to do all the clinical. I want to do all the and my personal care will suffer. I'll work on the business, I'll do the clinical, but my personal care will suffer. So where is it for you? What part of those 3 legs are you struggling with the most? Is it self-care, personal time? Is it spending time on the clinical, whether that's learning or actually delivering services for your patients or clients? Or is it in the actual doing the work on your business, growing the business? Is that where you struggle the most? And none of them are wrong. You might be really good at the physical self-care, but not be good at the business. Mine is opposite. So wherever you are, the goal here is we want to schedule and create a week that is every day of the work week. It bookends with some personal self-care. Like, this is me time. I'm going to take care of this meat suit that I have right here that houses my mind, my body, my soul, my spirit. I got to take care of the physical body. How am I doing that? That's your bookends. And then during the day, you're going to build in for you the right amount of time for the clinical work and to work on your business. It's important to maintain good boundaries. Don't say yes to things that you can't say yes to. Make sure that you're not giving out your cell phone to everybody so that patients can't email you after work. Like, that is your personal time. That's your self-care time. So have those good boundaries. Allow yourself to say, this is what's going to work for me and this isn't what's going to work for me. But as long as we have those 3 aspects of your business in good working order and the legs of the stools have their respective percentages over the course of your days of the week and the week in total, then you're going to start to see more ease in your life. You're going to start to see more ease. When I do my meal prep, it's so much easier during the week. It's just, I don't have to think about it. I've got my salads done. I've got my protein done. I've got my quinoa done. I have my overnight, oats, chia seed pudding, all that's done. Easy, so easy. But I have to make that a priority to do. So same with you, priorities for the clinical. So I hope this is helpful for you. I hope this wasn't too much of your circular conversation because I think that I need to hear it too. So we're kind of in this together, but I would really love your feedback. Like I want to know, send me an email. Here's my email. Ready? It's rhonda@rhondanelson.com. My staff's going to kill me because I gave you my email. rhonda@rhondanelson.com. Just send me an email. And I really would love to know, what is the thing that you're really good at? And what is the thing where you're like, yeah, I got to work on that. That's the part of my three-legged stool that I need to make better. I want to know. I'm curious. I really am curious. And then for bonus points, what are you going to do about it? How are you going to change it? What are you going to do? Because that's a key. You can identify it, but then we got to make some changes. We have to start doing some things. So here's my commitment to you. I'm actually recording this podcast on a Saturday because I record them ahead of time, obviously. So here's my commitment to you. I promise you that tomorrow on Sunday, I will do the full meal prep for the week. Because see, here's the thing. Sometimes it's just accountability, right? I mean, I'm literally looking into a little camera on my computer. I've got my mic here. I'm in my office. I'm all by myself. No one's here, talking to the air, talking to you. But I just made a commitment to you that I would do my meal prep tomorrow, and I'm going to do it because I made the commitment to you. By the time you listen to this podcast, it's going to be weeks past this. But I made the commitment, and therefore I will do it. So who can you be accountable to start to incorporate some of these things into your life, in your world? Who can you be accountable to? If you're inside Clinical Business Academy, then we've got lots of accountability built in there. You can be accountable, and everybody is accountable inside there. You say, this is what I'm going to do, then we're going to say, okay, how you doing on that? Not like crack the whip. Why didn't you get that? No, 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 no. Like, how are you doing on that? It's loving accountability, but it helps you make progress so much faster. Because if I wasn't accountable to you and I didn't say anything, I would probably only go to do about 50% of my meal prep tomorrow because I don't like it. But I will do it all tomorrow because I made myself accountable. So if business is your sticking point, like the doing the business part, you would need to be in Clinical Business Academy. I would really encourage you to join us. Schedule a call with me. That's all you have to do. Is get on the phone with me and you and I'll chat and I'll help you. We'll see if it's going to be a good fit for you. And I'll tell you, this is no high pressure over here at all. I want to help you be successful. And if the business part is what you're struggling with, I got you, friend. Like, I know how to help you. I can help you get that business piece solved so that you don't ever have to worry about not having the accountability, the structure, the training, the resources, the accountability, all of the things. On the personal side, I probably can't help you there, except just love you through that and tell you you're worth it. You are worth the self-care, my friend. And remember, your patients need you to secure your own oxygen mask first before you secure their oxygen mask. Don't forget that. Like airline industry to the rescue, right? Anyway, that's it, friend. If you'd like to chat with me about your business woes and your hair being on fire and you're sick and tired of having your hair on fire and you're ready to get the fire put out, then go to rhondanelson.com/CBA. Stands for Clinical Business Academy. CBA. Go to rhondanelson.com/CBA. And I promise I will help you get your hair not on fire as it has to do with your business. And I'll help you get out of the mess that you're in and get you to where you're making money and your business is profitable, successful, and you have lots of ease. Then when you build in those bookends of self-care, you literally will lock the door at the end of the night and you'll go, good job. You did great today. And there's no big emerging fires and we got this. Anyway, love you all. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week on the podcast.